Well, I just want to share these three prophetic words that I believe I've been given. And, it's a big thing to share these sorts of things. I find in my life that often I can go for weeks and weeks without sort of receiving anything at all. And then suddenly out of the blue, the Lord will just sort of prompt me and cause me to think in certain ways. So I want to share these things with you. They're for you to consider, and hopefully you'll sense a rightness in what I'm presenting here at the end of today's talk. So I'm going to read them out, which is why I've got my specs on, because it's easier if I do, so I hope that's okay. The first word is, I suppose you could put under the title of asleep. I believe the Lord spoke to me a very challenging word about the fact that there are many in his church who are asleep and not aware of the times in which they are living, indeed even those in leadership. I believe I saw a row of people representing God's church, and some of those persons in that row had their eyes shut. I then saw a huge, vast calendar with dates and events written on it, past events and present events, and it was in front of those people in the row. It had events on the future on it as well, obviously ones which are mentioned in God's word. I believe the Lord would be saying that because many of his people are asleep, they cannot see the times they are living in. Indeed, they cannot even see what is happening in the world at this present time and how that is in keeping with the scriptures. I believe the Lord made it emphatically clear to me that his church needs to wake up, because unless she does, how on earth will the world ever wake and know Christ? It's quite a powerful word, really, and I don't share it lightly, as you'd expect. The second one I've called telescopes and microscopes, and I know people perhaps think I often think about those things being an amateur astronomer of sorts, but I believe the Lord spoke this word straight into me without me having anything in my mind about such things. Telescopes and microscopes. I believe the Lord is saying, for so long my church has looked at me, as it were, through a telescope. It is as though they see me as some faraway person or object, like 1 trillion miles away. But I believe the Lord would be saying that it is time for my church to throw away their telescopes, to throw away their distant view of me, because this is not who I am or what I am doing. Indeed, my church needs to recognise that I am coming back, for I am the God who promised to return, therefore I am coming closer than ever before. So I call upon my people to exchange their telescopes for microscopes and see me for who I really am in detail. For I am close, and I will yet be closer still when my Son returns. Are you truly ready? And the final one, on a similar kind of idea, it's called filters, the third one, filters. As I thought about the telescope further, I became aware that there are many Christians in the West and in the world, of course. In so doing, I believe the Lord showed me that some Christians have placed a darkened filter on the end of their scope, and as that is so, their view of God is obscured, and they cannot see who Jesus really is, let alone trusting in his return or even being interested in it. There were others, though, who had a filter on the end of it, but it was a different type of filter which coloured their view of Christ, and thus did not see things the way they should. But finally, there were yet others who had placed nothing on the end of their scopes, and thus they can see Jesus in all his wonder and see who he really is through his word. I believe the challenge is that Christ is calling his people to truly look at him as he is and let nothing get in the way of that. We are to expect his return. I hope those words, which come from a heart of concern and love for God's church, indeed for us at ABC especially, will indeed resonate with you and be of help to you. God bless you, and thank you so much today for all your time.